Yes, I am 100% that person that starts to celebrate fall at the 1st of September. Why wait to give myself joy and happiness? It hurts no one if I put some pumpkins out, if I, have some like pumpkin throw pillows, like it's not gonna hurt anyone. And I really feel like it's becoming more and more socially acceptable to celebrate fall earlier and earlier, which is great for me. I think also the pandemic has made that more acceptable because we're all having a bad time. Why not, if the fall times are going to be better, why not just let yourself celebrate that, I'm just saying. So that means today we are here to do a fall TBR. I don't know why I went like that, as if I'm going to have it like pop up, We're really testing my editing skills. Maybe I can do like fall TBR. Anyway, so I'm going to do fall TBR and we're going to just talk through all the books I want to read in the next 3 months. But I'm doing this a little late though, because it's now, unfortunately, I don't know why I looked at my watch. It does not tell me the date. I'm filming this on September 18th, so it's quite a ways into September. So that means I have just 10 days and 2 months to read these books. I think it'll be fine. So these are the books I want to read in fall. I have 2 categories that these are going to fall into. The first one is kind of like a more boring category. These are mostly probably books that are sitting on my shelves that I know that I need to read, so why not get to them now in this season? This is the perfect time, especially because I just posted my book haul of all the books that I've hauled this year so far, and I said in that video that I want to read the books by the end of the year. So that means I gotta get to them, because scarily we're getting towards the end of the year. We're over the hump now. So why not read these now rather than later? And then the second part of the video is the more exciting one. So those are the spooky, fallish vibe books that I want to read. So let's just get into it. First of all, I have these right here, but let's first talk about The Word for Woman is Wilderness. I just really want to get to this because I feel like I'm going to keep putting it off if I don't. Honestly, that's the story with this one. I just want to get into it. I just want to read it. I feel like this is a good time. She's going to Alaska. It's cold there, or so I'm told. Thanks, Fiona, for giving me all my information on Alaska, but she's told me it's cold. So that works. So this is just about an adventure this woman goes on. This is kind of a feminist take on Into the Wild. I liked that. I like feminism. I feel like maybe a woman would make some better decisions than Chris McCandless did. I don't know, just an idea. So I want to get to this season. I want to get to it very soon. I want this to be the first one I pick up. We'll see if that happens. The next book I want to read is The Overstory by Richard Powers. When I did my book haul, I didn't know what this was about besides trees, and guess what? I still don't know what it's about besides trees. But that's okay, because I really like trees, and I don't really need no more than that. I also feel like maybe this will give some fall vibes. When I think of fall, I think of nature, I think of forests. So if this is really about trees, then that should fit it. But I did find that the audiobook for this is on Scribd. Scribd really sucks you in. They sent me that email that was like, you can have a free month of Scribd. We see that you canceled your subscription. Want a free month? And I was like, I do want a free month. So here I am with Scribd, and I will read this. And I definitely have a timeline on this because I'm going to read it, because I will not pay for another month of Scribd. I'm just going to keep saying that. I will not pay for another month of Scribd. It's a great service. I recommend it. But I have so many physical books to read, and I have, so far the library is giving me what I need, so I don't need to spend money on a subscription service. Anyway, that's what I'm telling myself. But I want to get to this, and I have the availability to read it now, so that's great. The next book I want to read is one that's really exciting. I really want to get to the house in the Cerulean Sea. I just have heard so many good things, so I picked it up, and I would just like to read it as soon as possible, because I think it's going to be good. It's so funny how before you even read a book, you can have these emotions attached to it. So like, I pick up this book, and I was kind of, want to cuddle in with it and hold it, because I just think I'm going to like it that much. I'm a little worried that I'm not going to like it for some reason. And so I think it's better if I get to this sooner rather than later, because it's so hyped, so I don't want the hype to get to it. and make me not want to read it. So I want to get to this soon. Nothing exciting under the dust jacket. I thought I would try. Thought I would check. And the next book of my physical TBR that I want to read this season is Such a Fun Age. I would love if I read even more than these 4 for my physical TBR, but these 4 at least I know for sure that I want to get to. But I want to pick this up. I think it's going to be good. I have no reason to keep putting it off. I still don't know a lot about it, and that's okay. I talked about it a bit in my book haul. I struggled a lot. I cut out about 10 minutes of me trying to figure out what this book was about. And I don't think it's a hard concept. I think I was just really struggling that day. So I want to read it this fall. Okay, now we're on to the set of books I want to read this season that I really chose because they seem to fit that fall vibe and spooky feel. So I'm so excited to get to any of these and all of these. The first one I want to mention is Her Body and Other Stories by Carmen Maria Machado. So this collection of short stories focuses on women and feminism. They also, I've heard, like, there's some horror in there, and I'm really trying to dip my toes and figure out if I'm interested in horror. I don't think I've ever read anything that would ever be classified as horror, so that's exciting, and hopefully I'm into it. Hopefully I dig it. I think this would be a good place to start. I think these short stories are going to be very experimental and kind of like weird and different. I'm really excited. I also want to get more into short stories, so since I've heard such amazing things, hopefully I'll really like it and continue reading them. Speaking of horror, the next book I want to read is a Stephen King book. I don't even know what book in there, but I've never read a Stephen King, and why not now, right? But I don't know, everyone talks about Stephen King. From being a child, from childhood, I just remember the name Stephen King. No one I know read Stephen King. I don't think my parents read Stephen King, so it wasn't that I heard people reading about it. He's just like such a household name now, and I don't know, I feel like to be a reader, I should at least try him out and see what I think. So I'm excited about trying that out. And, again, I haven't read any horror, so why not go with the king of horror? You think of horror and you think of Stephen King. They kind of go hand in hand. From what I can tell, I've watched some videos about where to start with Stephen King. I've heard Misery is a good place to start, and the concept is really intriguing to me. It's about a very famous writer who writes these books about a character named Misery, or maybe his book series is called Misery, something along those lines. But he, for some reason, just decided he doesn't like writing these anymore, and so he's going to stop. But he has a very dedicated fan who decides that she's not okay with him stopping, and so she kidnaps him and forces him to write the next book. I don't know, that just sounds really intriguing. So hopefully I can find Misery, pick it up and read it, but if not that one, I'm sure I can find something else. And that'll definitely be an October read, I think. It seems like the best time to read Stephen King, so hopefully I'll give that a shot and be into it. The next book I want to read, or this season, or again, it's not a book in particular, it's just kind of like an area or an author. So I've read 3 Ruth Ware books this summer, and I've enjoyed all of them, and I would like to pick one more up from her. I feel like fall is perfect thriller season, so I would like to pick up one of her books and maybe another thriller book. I mostly just want to read a thriller, but I just know that I really like Ruth Ware, so I would like to continue with reading her books. In particular, I would really like to get my hands on One by One. It sounds like such a compelling topic, but since it just came out and it's so popular, I'm not sure if I can get my hands on it. So yeah, a thriller. Probably, hopefully Ruth Ware thriller, but I would like to continue exploring the thriller genre and figuring out what I like and don't like within that. So I think that would be a good place to go. The next book I want to read is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I don't even feel like I need to explain this one. Clearly, I haven't read Frankenstein yet, hence it being on this list, but I have been on kind of a kick where I've read 2 classics 2 months in a row, and that sounds like a good plan. Maybe I could pick up a classic a month. So I think Frankenstein would be a perfect one to read this season. Specifically, again, I'm going to push this one into October. I keep trying to talk more about it, but what I need to say, it's Frankenstein, it's the spooky season, it's Halloween. It sounds pretty perfect, so I would love to pick that one up. I really want to go to a used bookstore and find a really beat up good copy of Frankenstein. So cross your fingers, hopefully I'll be able to find that. But I think that would be really good and I would love to have it on my shelves. And the last book that I'm going to have on my TBR for this season is another one that's super dedicated to October, to reading in that month, and it is The October Country by Ray Bradbury. This is a book that I unfortunately I have owned for a while, but I don't have it with me here in DC. It's at home in California. But so I kind of didn't even want to put it on this list because I don't want to read it not physically when I have the physical copy, but I just have to get to it, and I don't feel like I can read it any other month besides October. That's just not allowed, right? It has to be in October. I've heard this is going to give the perfect spooky vibes and the perfect fall vibes in October and everything. So this is a collection of short stories that all take place in fall or around Halloween time, which just sounds perfect. I've also wanted to read Ray Bradbury for a while. I just remembered my senior quote was by Ray Bradbury. I don't even remember the quote so much, but I just know that it was by him. So even then I knew that I wanted to read Ray Bradbury, but I haven't yet. So this seems like a good place to start, and I just feel like I must love it, you know? Again, just all the stories being set in October, sign me up. Absolutely. So I would love to get that one. Anyway, those are all the books I want to read this season. I'm excited to get to all of them. It's quite a long list, but I think I can do it, especially considering that I read 11 last month alone. So I think hopefully I'll be able to get there. But I also think it would be fun if at the end of the season or the beginning of winter, I would look back on this video and see what books I've read from this list. And I think keeping that in mind, I'll actually read the books on the list. So hopefully I get to them and I like them. I'm sure I'll find some more books that I want to read this season. I would love to expand my list of the spooky season books, the fall vibe books, especially because I want to participate and especially because I really want to participate in Fortnite Frights because I've never participated in a readathon before. So that's really exciting. So if I can figure that out, I think that'd be really fun. And the creator of the readathon, Seiji, is one of my favorite book creators right now. I started watching her fairly recently, but I just think that she's delightful, and it's so clear that she put so much effort into this readathon. So I need to sit down and look at her bingo board, I think just bingo board, and see what I can fit into those slots and read, but I think that'd be really, really fun. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I can't wait for it to be winter and for me to make a video looking back on this and saying that yes, I read all 10 of those books. I definitely think it's doable, and of course these are all books I really want to get to. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I'm gonna put these books back over here because I feel like it was kind of cute in the frame. Well, it would have been cuter if I didn't knock over the top of this. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I feel like my camera can really tell when I'm rambling, so it shuts off, so I'm forced to reevaluate. Anyway.